Good morning, my YouTube viewers. I want to make another video this morning before I go out. We're on our way to get breakfast. But last night I was really upset about something, and I decided that I wanted to make a video about it this morning. And in addition to that, I was upset about something on Thanksgiving, and I will be making a video about that in a few days. And the reason why is because I don't really like to make a video every day. I like to make a video maybe twice a week or something like that. But since this was so important to me, I wanted to go ahead and make a video about it. And what it is I made a previous video. The previous video I made was, should mentally ill people be required to get mammograms? Because I looked on the internet, and the internet said, no, mentally ill people are not required to get mammograms. Okay, well, mentally ill people, quite often, if they're on a CTO, that's a community treatment order, they're required to get psychiatric medication, but they're not required to get any medication, anything for their physical health. And so basically, I have this friend. She has a mental illness. She has schizoaffective disorder. And schizoaffective disorder is you have schizophrenia and bipolar. And because schizophrenia and bipolar are related to each other, and they're on a spectrum. And so schizoaffective disorder lies on this spectrum. So she says she has schizoaffective disorder, but I'm not so sure that's true. And the reason why is because one time I was reading something somewhere about mental illness, and it said that you can reason with a person who has like schizoid personality disorder. You can reason with them and you can get them to see sense. But somebody with schizophrenia, which basically is what schizoaffective disorder is, you can't reason with them. And this friend of mine, you can't reason with her. I saw her last night at this place we go to. It's a Christian outreach, but it's one of the few places we can go to in the town I live in that are free. So we go there because obviously I haven't got very much money, so I cannot afford to go places that require me to spend money. And she said that she's not going to go to her mammogram because, remember, if you watch the previous video where should mentally ill people be required to get mammograms, I was talking about this woman saying she didn't want to get the mammogram, and I told her that if she didn't get the mammogram and she had cancer and she didn't get it treated, that she wouldn't live. And so last night I told her, she said, I'm not going to get the mammogram. She said that I have to stay home all day long on December the 3rd to get my oven fixed. So basically, her oven is more important than her health. That's her priority. Her priority is her oven is more important than her health. And so she said that she had to stay in. They're going to fix her oven, and she has to stay in. And I said to her, I said, do you understand that if you have breast cancer and you don't get it treated, that you will not live? And I don't think that the gravity of this situation has sunk into her. And she didn't really answer me. She didn't really say that she understood that if she has breast cancer and she doesn't get treated, she's not going to live. And even my boyfriend, he told her, he said, this is a life or death situation. He told her that. This is life or death. And she says, well, I've been told I have to check my breast. Well, she's bigger than I am. She's not as tall as I am. She's not as tall as I am, but her arms and legs are really skinny, and she puts all her weight on around the middle, and her breasts are larger than mine. And I told her, I said, look, I said, you've got big breasts. I said, you're not going to be able to check your breasts because you've got big breasts. And so I didn't know what more I could say. I told her there was this guy sitting with us, and his partner had a daughter who actually expired from breast cancer. And I told him, I said, this guy here, his partner's daughter has expired from breast cancer. And still, that still wasn't enough to get her to agree to go to this mammogram. She's still not going to go. She says, well, nothing has happened to me before. I'm okay. Nothing is going to happen to me before. Well, when they told me I had breast cancer, since it was an early stage of breast cancer, I didn't feel anything. And so I didn't really know there was a problem. And I've got big boobs too, so they're really too big for me to be feeling around and giving myself an examination. And but when they told me I had breast cancer and they told me where it was, after they told, I could actually feel that there was a difference. So if you've got breast cancer and it's in an early stage and you don't know you've got breast cancer, you might not feel any different, especially if you've got big breasts and you can't give yourself a breast exam because they're so big. You might not feel any difference. So that's the situation she's in, and she just says, well, nothing. She said, why am I having to have a mammogram now? And I told her, I said, well, when you're 50, you start getting mammograms every 3 years. So when she was 50, she was supposed to get a mammogram. And what happened was she fell through the loops, and she's never had a mammogram. And somehow or other, she's 59 now, and somehow or other, she's going to have a mammogram at 59, but she's not had a mammogram at 50. So in theory, she should have had a mammogram at the very least at 53, 56, and 59. And she says, well, there's no problem. She just won't listen. She won't listen. And that's the problem with people with schizophrenia. And I think she has schizophrenia more than she has bipolar. And she's more on the schizophrenia spectrum. And it's because she has to take this drug called clozapine. Now, she has to take that drug. If she doesn't take that drug, she'll get sectioned. And the clozapine is such a dangerous drug. It's for people, it's like a last resort drug for schizophrenia. It's basically for people with untreatable schizophrenia. And then she has to take that drug. If she doesn't take that drug, she will be sectioned. And it's so dangerous, it can give you a type of blood poisoning. So she has to go to the clozapine clinic every month at the local mental hospital, have her bloods taken and her weight and everything else like that. So if she's required to take clozapine and other drugs as well, then why isn't she required to do something like for her health, get a mammogram? And I'm also upset because there's this nurse where she lives that told us that she didn't have to get a mammogram. Okay, it's true. She doesn't have to get a mammogram. Legally, she's not obliged to get a mammogram, but for her health, she should do it. And this nurse should not have told her that she didn't need to get a mammogram. I think that was very highly irresponsible, because this friend of mine, she lives in supported housing, so she has social workers and care workers and nurses coming into the building all the time. So that's the status. I explained I can't get mad at my friend because she wouldn't understand. Even if I did get mad at her, she wouldn't understand. And I can't get mad at her. I just said to her, I said, do you understand that if you have breast cancer and you don't get it treated, that you're not going to live? And she didn't reply to me. She didn't say she understood. She said, well, I don't have any problems. I've never had any problems. So that's it. That's it for my friend. And really, to be quite honest, I have lung disease. I was going to walk to her house, get her, which was going to be a burden for me because of my breathing, and then take her to the hospital so she could get her mammogram. I was going to do that for her because it's so important that she get a mammogram, and now she's not going to get it. And me and my boyfriend are tried to get her to get this mammogram, and she's refusing. And even the guy that was sitting with us, his partner, his daughter died of breast cancer. He was saying, yes, it's the truth, and she won't get the mammogram. So that's it for this video. I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, her breasts are bigger than mine, and too big to give an examination. And she doesn't care. She thinks getting her cooker fixed is more important than her health. So that's it for this video. I'm going to be making another video soon about another topic that has upset me, but I'm not going to do it today. I'll do it soon though. And so if you like my video, please like and subscribe. And thank you so much for watching my video. And I look forward to making more videos for you about cancer in the future.